Times, two times is a charm. Man, I tell you, this is an exciting morning, man. I ain't been this pumped in a while. I mean, we talked last week about, Doc Rivers and the Philadelphia 76ers. But I'll tell you what, man, if you were up late last night and you were there and you were watching that Eagles game, I want to know right now what was going through your mind. I want to know what were you thinking, right? Because I'll tell you, man, I couldn't even go live last. I had to take it all in perspective. I really did. I had to take it all in perspective and try to figure out exactly what that meant, because there was times in that game where it was excruciating. There was times in that game that I'll tell you what, that I was like, okay, you know what? He may be back. There was times in that game where I had to continue to think about what the future holds. But one thing is for sure, we got it done in San Francisco. Listen, you know what I mean? I'm sharing this right now. Everything that we talked about for a week, everything that we talked about that needed to happen kind of did happen. And I'll tell you what, man, I'm going to tell you what. You know what? I got to give my boy Jim Schwartz some credit. Again, I do, because, again, for another game, he brought the heat, man. He brought the heat. And you can say whatever you want about Schwartzy. And I know my co-host, and he's not watching right now, but I know Tuesday night, Coach Dave is going to go off. Okay. And I'm going to have to tell him, listen, Dave, you need to be easy on Mr. Schwartz, because Jim Schwartz was the man of the hour last night. You say what you want about the game. Say what you want about Carson Wentz. And listen, Carson Wentz, that was one of the grittiest performances I've seen that kid play. Okay, really. At the end of the day, listen, he to say, you heard Lisa Guerrero say, you know what? I know you don't hear. He hears the noise, just like Al Michael says. He reads, he hears, he listens. He has to. He's only human, right? He's only human. But at the end of the day, he got it done, right? And that's the biggest thing. The Eagles win big in San Francisco. That's the motto of today. The Eagles win big in San Francisco. And I'll tell you what, it was one hell of a late night last night. It was. I mean, those Sunday night games, I loved them, but I hate them, right? Because if you're the working person, you got to get up in the morning, and it's a struggle to get out of bed. And, but when they win, it's that much sweeter, right? It's that much sweeter. I know my buddy Joe ruined today. Joe Ruffin, on Twitter said, I forgot that Carson could throw a deep ball, right? And I think we all did, right? We haven't seen Carson Wentz throw a deep ball in how many weeks? I mean, it was something of beauty. It was something of beauty finally. And listen, this wasn't the perfect game by Carson Wentz. It wasn't the perfect game, listen, it's okay. It is okay that Carson did not throw the perfect game. What we needed to do is we needed to come out with a win. And that was the biggest thing. And that's exactly what we did. Some players of the game that listen, Travis Fulgham, are you kidding me? Travis friggin' Fulgham. Listen, this is the Carson that we seen at the end of last year. This is the Carson, in my opinion, okay, even though he wasn't completely accurate the entire game, there was a lot of passes he probably wants back. I get it. But this was the gritty Carson. This was the Carson that said, I'm taking no prisoners. This was the Carson that said, I'm going all out. This was the Doug Peterson that said, I'm going all out. The 2-point conversion, as much as people want to hate it, that's the Doug we know. Right? That's the Doug we know. That's the Doug that says, you know what? I'm going all in. And I'll tell you what, say what you want about that. But that was a turning point in the game. Okay, that was a turning point in the game. That was the difference. San Francisco happened to go for 2 at the end. That was because Doug went for these are the things that happen, right? Risk versus reward. And again, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, right? And then we kill him because he didn't take the points, and they're sitting there with 6. Either way, Doug can't win. I get it, but that's the whole point of being a head coach. Doug, that's why you're getting paid, right? That's why you're getting paid. So, he makes it. It's successful. and it helps us towards the end of the game, which again is exactly what we needed. Listen, man, you know what? This stream today it feels so good. It really does. And there's a lot going on today too, right? It's Monday morning. Everybody's hungover, right? All the time. I mean, listen, every single day, this is what we have to do when we have a late night football game. But you know what? When we get a win, it's so much sweeter. It is. You feel better, right? You feel better. And that's what people don't understand. For people who don't live in Philadelphia and people don't get it, okay, they don't get the passion. They don't get it. They don't get the fire. They have no idea. They don't understand what we do every single day. They don't understand that when we go to bed happy. Listen, I'll be honest with you. I was talking with an Irish fan all night last night, and you know what? And back and forth, and she was not having a good night. She wasn't. You know why? She's passionate. She's passionate. She's passionate about her team, man. That's what this is all about. This is passion, and we bring it every single day. We knew what we were going to face, and I'll tell you what. Thank God Kyle Shanahan decided to go to the C.J. Beathard later than not earlier, because Nick Mullins stinks, and that's such an indictment on the New York Giants. The New York Giants must absolutely blow. Okay, let's be honest, because Nick Mullins threw for 350 plus yards against the Giants, who are they must be garbage, because Nick Mullins couldn't hit anybody last night, right? If it wasn't for George Kittle, they would have had nothing. And that's all on Nick Mullins' shoulders, right? That's all on Nick Mullins' shoulders. So CJ Beathard comes in, he gets the offense going. I mean, he went like 14 for 15 as soon as he came in the game, and we're thinking, right? We're all thinking, what's happening? Is it going to happen again, right? Because, listen, there was a little bit of concern there, just a little bit. But again, this is the second time. This is the second week in a row where that defensive line has come up huge at the end of the game, right? At the end of the game. And this was a game they won, right? This was a game they won. Now, again, first place, the Eagles in first place at 1-2-1. I mean, who the hell would have thought that would have happened right now? And again, that's something that when you look at it, obviously that shows you how bad division is. But if you want to win games, if you want to win when you're down, your back's up against the wall, this is how you come out. You come out firing, right? You come out firing. And that's all we want. That's all we've ever wanted. Okay, and that's all I've ever wanted. And for all the people that say I'm a Carson hater and I'm a false contrarian, okay, get out of my inbox, man. For real. Seriously, if you think that I'm a Carson hater and you think I'm a false contrarian, then obviously you have no idea who the hell I am, and you have no business following me whatsoever. So do me a favor, get the stream off your feed and go follow somebody else, because that's not what I am. What I am, okay, is I'm a pessimist and an optimist. I am. That's the way. Listen, I look at everything. I follow everything that I can. This is what I do. And when I look at it and I search for the good and I search for the bad, okay? And it's because I want to succeed. I want this team to succeed. Do you think for 1 second that I don't want Carson Wentz as my quarterback? Hell no. I absolutely want Carson as my quarterback. But what I also want to do is I want to make sure he's fixed. I want to make sure he's right. I want to make sure he gives us the best opportunity to win. And that's okay for wanting to do that. That's called being a fan, right? That's called being an avid fan. That's called being a passionate fan, because that's what I want. What is so wrong with that, right? So if it would have taken Jalen Hurts to come into the game, then maybe that's what it would have taken. I don't know, but at least for one thing, you seen something last night. There were a couple things that I noticed, okay? And this is stuff that I've been talking about on these streams for I can't tell you how long, to be honest with you, okay? I know it's Monday morning. Nobody really checking in yet. People watching. I get a couple texts. That's okay, okay? It's a Monday morning hangover, and I'm doing this a little earlier than I wanted to do. But again, I got to get ready for the Doc Rivers press conference at noon. Also, I have some other stuff I have to take care of. I want to do some new graphics. So, hit me up. Let me know what you think about the new graphics. It's a little something different. I'm trying new things, man. I'm trying new things. But here's what I want to talk about. One thing that I've noticed about the Philadelphia Eagles last night and Carson Wentz, specifically Carson, he was that quarterback that we seen a few years ago. And what I mean by that is I made reference to it on this show about no checkdowns. I made references on this show about Carson trying to be a different player. And we weren't really sure what that was, right? What was that? Was it going to be Carson of, of Frank Reich's system or Carson of Doug Peterson's system? And I think that last night we seen the Carson of Frank Reich's system. Now, there's still some play calls that had to get cleaned up. Doug's going to stop being cute, and we're going to break all that down. We absolutely are. Doug has to stop being cute when we talk about, why was Miles Sanders not getting the ball at the end? Why was it going to Boston Scott? All right. There was a lot of different things that we need to talk about, getting too cute with the reverses and things of that nature when, you're up in the game and you want to close out the game. But we seen Carson doing checkdowns at the line. We seen Carson looking at coverages. Okay, that I'll tell you what, that 4th and 1, the up and back, that was a thing of beauty. And I'll tell you what, you could say what you want. That was all Carson. That was 100% Carson. Okay, that was not Doug Peterson. That was Carson. Carson rolling out and going for those RPOs. They brought more to the playbook last night. They allowed Carson Wentz to be more of Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is not the guy who stands in the pocket and makes throws. He's just not that guy. Have you been watching the Buffalo Bills? Right? Have you been watching the Buffalo Bills? Josh Allen is an absolute beast. Why is Josh Allen a beast? Because Sean McDermott is playing to his strengths, which means he's rolling him out. He's getting him out of the pocket. He's allowing him to run the ball. He's allowing him to do stuff. Obviously, you want him to protect himself, but he was allowing him to do things that we know he can do. And that's what was important last night with Carson Wentz. That was one of the most important parts of Carson Wentz's game. So, again, that was the biggest thing I seen last night. That was the adjustment. Okay, the adjustment was Carson come in, Carson be Carson, and let's win a game. Let the defense step up. And you can say whatever you want about the defense, right? You say whatever you want that they played a half-ass team, and George Kittle went off. I'll tell you what, Kyle Shanahan is one hell of a head coach, and he's one hell of a schemer. And I'll tell you what, you got to give Jim Schwartz some big props, because Jim Schwartz played a chess match with one of the most strategic offensive masterminds in all of football, Kyle Shanahan, and he won. And I get it. I know they didn't have Jimmy G. I understand that. They didn't have some of their wide receivers. I get it. They didn't have their full complement of running backs, even though Jerick McKinnon went off. Jerick McKinnon played very, very well. So you could say what you want. They didn't have Tevin Coleman. They didn't have Raheem Mostert, okay? Say what you want. Doesn't matter. This is an NFL football game. This is an NFL football game in the middle of a pandemic. This is an NFL football game in which you're playing with a depleted offensive line. You're watching your basically your cornerstone right tackle come on and off the field. All right, you're watching guys like Driscoll. Okay, Jack Driscoll playing at the right tackle position. Jordan Mailata playing at the left tackle position, who I have to say played very well. Say what you want about the false start. Okay, the kid ain't played, man. The kid has not played. And again, that is such a credit to Jeff Stoutland. A huge credit to Stoutland, because, again, man, I'm telling you, that guy, he goes down as, if not the best offensive line coach in all football, okay, but maybe the best offensive line coach of all time, okay? Jeff Stoutland is unbelievable, and you can say what you want. Okay, he heard it. He's seen it. You think he doesn't see some of the turnstiles that we've had on an offensive line? You think he could do anything about it? Right? He didn't draft these guys. He was giving these guys. This again. This brings back the talent situation, right? It brings back the talent question. It brings back the talent evaluation. Again, it brings back, and for all the people, again, here's the funny thing about Dave. Dave checking in. Dave's always looking for that opening, right? Always, if Mullins hits that wide open fullback on the second play, he'd say, yes. Dave, you're right, 100%. Honestly, I listen. Game's all about momentum, right? And you're already going in there. You're already walking wounded, right? You're already going in there thinking, what's going to happen? And then what happens? Kyle Juszczyk is wide open. I mean, absolutely wide open. They go after Nate Gary right away, which we knew they were going to do. Okay, and he just misses the ball. Right then, if I was Kyle Shanahan, I'm yanking him right out of the game. Because I'll tell you what, after what I said about C.J. Beathard, Beathard's probably hitting that pass. Okay, he's probably hit that pass, and we could be talking about a different ball game right here. Okay, because then that changes the mindset of everything. I know Doug Peterson has those scripted plays and he has a scripted playbook, but what it does is it changes it and says, okay, do we want to recourse? Do we want to revert direction? And do we want to change up what the game plan was going to be? Because this could be a long game, and we may need to score points now. So yeah, I think, Dave, you're absolutely right. As you know, thanks for checking in as always. That was a big play right there that was missed for the 49ers, and they drew that up. That's one thing, they drew that up completely. They knew exactly who attack. They threw that Rams thing on. They threw the Rams film on. They seen Tyler Higbee. They seen exactly what he could do against us, and they went right at us. They did. They went right at our weakest spot. And again, that's what they're supposed to do, right? 100%. Beathard looks laser sharp. Yeah, listen, I said that earlier, man. Honestly, Dave, I don't get it. I don't get what Shanahan was doing, to be honest with you. I would have put him in at least in change in the second half, because I'll tell you what, Mullins is trash. He is hot garbage. That's what he is. He stinks. Now that's a guy who should have been in the NFL. You say what you want. That's a guy. He absolutely stinks. He looked like he was scared to death when they brought some of those rushes, didn't he? He looked like he was scared to death. Like, yo, you see them back up each time. So I'll tell you what, you say what you want, but Kyle Shanahan could have blew that game a little bit for the Niners. I like Kyle, one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, but I'll tell you what, if he goes to Beathard earlier, we could have a different outcome, because they were looking good. Now, again, everybody held their breath a little bit. You've seen Darius Slade take the hit to the knee, right? Everybody, they hold their breath, but the deep ball from Carson Wentz, man. Carson Wentz. Trevor checking in. What up, Tony? I love how the Eagles kill my 49ers -7 bet. I told you, man, it's a tough bet to take. I wasn't feeling it, Trev. I wasn't feeling it. I'm telling you, Mullins still gets carded at PG. McClain's always calling in with some bet. I love it. He gets carded. I'll tell you what, he gets carded, and he probably shits himself too, because he was not good at all. He was not good. But how about Carson's deep ball, man? I mean, the deep ball to Carson, that's what won the game. Think about it. That's what won the game. I mean, look, and again, Merrill Reese. I'm going to play it right here. Here we go.
Get that at 18. Wentz back again. He steps up. He is floating it, and it is caught by Fulgham, who's in for a touchdown, I believe. Yes, Travis Fulgham, of all people. Travis Fulgham, get to know him. He just caught a touchdown, a 42-yard touchdown from Wentz.
Great job of protection, and that's where it all begins. But Fulgham just outruns the cornerback. And this is the same cornerback that was just beaten, Deontay Johnson. Fulgham just outruns him, gives him a little shake at the line of scrimmage, beats him down the field.
That touchdown brought to you by the Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Delaware Valley Honda dealer for great deals on all models. In case you're wondering, that's TravisFulgham.
Nothing's better than Merrill Reese spelling out Fulgham's name, right? Nothing's better than that. But I'll tell you, that was a beautiful thing. It really was. That was a gorgeous touch pass by Carson Wentz to a guy off the practice squad of the Green Bay Packers that barely even knows the playbook. Listen, guys, I'm telling you, there are the things that give me hope, that say that this team is not complete garbage. Okay, when everybody's saying we're playing for a draft pick, I mean, that's the stuff that gives you hope. Last night was an indictment on a change in philosophy, right? You say what you want, but last night was an indictment on a change of philosophy. That's exactly what happened in that game. Now, I don't know if that was Doug stepping up, but again, that last night you seen a different Doug, because Doug, again, I keep saying this, Doug's coaching for his job, right? He's coaching for his. You think when they go to Jeffrey Lurie up there to press box, he's happy? You think he's happy, right? When he sees some of the things going on? Absolutely not. Okay, he understands that people get injured, but again, he may understand people get injured, but people get injured all over the NFL. and these teams are still finding a way to win. So he's going to want to know why his franchise is not finding a way to win. And last night, they found a way to win. I know it's a depleted team, but you went in on the road on Sunday Night Football on the grand stage of them all. Say what you want, no fans, I get it, okay, but you beat a former Super Bowl contender, right? You beat the team that represented the NFC in the Super Bowl last night with nobody. Let's face it, nobody. And how about Alex Singleton? I mean, listen, again, these guys, you're going to hear the hybrid linebacker term consistently now because that's exactly what they are. They're hybrid linebackers. They're made. The funny thing is, hybrid linebackers are made to be fast. They're made to be good tacklers and made to be able to cover guys out of the backfield. Well, Nate Gary is none of that, and I don't know why we consistently put him out there on the field. So you say what you want, but Gary, he stinks, okay? He is what he is. I'm tired of talking about him. He shouldn't be on the field. Singleton, okay, listen, if you could give me a really good middle linebacker that's strong, that could clog the middle up, and then you want to throw Singleton out there as one of your guys that's a hybrid guy, I'm good with that. But you still need the guy in the middle. You still need that guy in the middle. 100%, say what you want. Okay, that's exactly what you need. So, again, you look at this game, and, it looked like it was going to go the same way, right? The penalty was a killer on Mailata. I get it. But you know what? He shook it off. And that's the biggest thing. He shook it off, and he came back. Okay, the thing about Doug that he needs to be careful is, and I get the next man up mentality. I do. I get it. Next man up. I think it's great. I love it. I preach it to a lot of my guys on my team, younger guys, something to watch, something to take control of, take hold of. But again, you have to be careful. You also have to know who these guys are. You have to know. I mean, you're putting Killins Jr. in there, okay, when the game's on the line, a guy who hasn't really held the ball. Boston Scott, a guy who really hasn't, held the ball in late stages of the game. Okay, they're the things you have to be careful of and you have to protect, Doug. So you need to work on that part. But I will give Doug an uptick after that game. I will. I think last night was a really, really good play, a really good coaching job, compared to what we've seen. And Jim Schwartz gets the game ball, 100%. Trevor checking in says, Nick Gary doesn't deserve to wear a Tim Oakley visor. I love it. That's a great comment. You have to make plays and not suck. Isn't that the truth, right? You definitely have to make plays and not suck to wear that. If you're going to be rocking an Oakley, man, you got to play the part. Right? That was back in the day. If you want to go out and buy a pair of Gazelles, man, you better be able to spit. You better be able to run some bars. You better be able to rap. You can't be wearing no Gazelles if you're not going to be in the game. So, listen, Trevor, I completely agree. If you're going to wear a tinted Oakley visor, you need to make plays and not absolutely suck and be garbage. Okay? That's what you need to do. Nick Mullins, see ya. You're probably never going to see another snap again because you're terrible. Okay? Thank God that Bethard came in late. But again, we did what we could do in that game. I am highly excited. I know, listen, next two games are not going to be easy, right? Pittsburgh, Baltimore, they're not going to be easy. We talked about this. It's not a really, really good schedule. Obviously, it's not favorable. We'll see if we get some players back after this week. See if we get any receivers back. Not sure what's going on with Alshon Jeffrey. I'm not saying Alshon Jeffrey is the answer, but to get somebody back that has somewhat of a rapport, okay, would be important. But how about the legend of Richard Rodgers, right? The Green Bay Packers ex-tight end Richard Rodgers, right? Who could have thought that Richard Rodgers would play such a tremendous role in this game, right? They just forgot about him. San Francisco forgot about him, right? You have a guy, Fred Warner, patrol in the middle, just forgot about Richard Rodgers, the Hail Mary King, right? We all remember the Hail Mary against Detroit by Aaron Rodgers, years back. That was Richard Rodgers, man. That was Richard Rodgers. Listen, he's a veteran. He's a veteran. He knows what to do, Right? He knows to do. He knows his role. He came in, he played the game. He got open. He was a safety valve for Carson. He caught the ball, didn't turn it over. That's what Richard Rodgers does. So kudos to him for just playing a role and doing exactly what he needed to do. Again, that was a tremendous game for me from Richard Rodgers. Again, I'm so excited. We got a press conference at noon, talking about Doc Rivers opening up to the Philadelphia 76ers. Cannot wait to talk about that. The Philadelphia Eagles, they give us the win. Tremendous. Big win in San Francisco, no matter what the team is. We have that. We'll see what goes on with the Phillies. Listen, Philly sports right now. Today, looking up a little bit. We're on the uptick a little bit, right? Last week was really bad. Last week was doom and gloom. You play that game against Cincinnati, and you don't play with any kind of moxie. You don't play with like a team that has won a Super Bowl. And what I mean by that is that's an indictment of the coach. Because listen, you have a ring, you want a ring, play like it, be like it. Listen, I'll tell you what. It was great to see Dallas lose yesterday. It was, listen, their defense is atrocious. We think we have problems. If you've seen the Dallas-Cleveland game yesterday, my Lord, do they have some issues. Okay, one thing for sure, Mike McCarthy was never known as a defensive coach. I told you guys this. One thing for sure, I told you guys this. Mike McCarthy is a throwing machine, right? And you see exactly why Dak Prescott, right? You can see exactly why Dak Prescott is throwing up the numbers he is right now. He's historical numbers, 1,700 yards in 3 games, never done before. Okay, so if he is your fantasy quarterback, like I've told everybody, I'm sure you're probably winning some ball games. Trevor says, yeah, at least I waited today to do the Upper Bowl podcast at 2 p.m. Yeah, that's a good move, Trevor. Obviously, we're doing a heat ratio tomorrow night, so we can talk about everything. It's going to be a good one. I'm really curious to see what kind of questions Doc gets asked, and I'm curious to see what kind of answers he has. Hopefully we can get some insight onto who is going to be the assistant coaches. Is it definitely going to be Alvin Gentry? Are we going to see a Dawn Staley reunion in Philadelphia? There's a lot of things going to come out of this press conference today. That is for sure. But again, I just wanted to do a little stream today. I wanted to go under 30 minutes. Thanks everybody checking in. I had a little technical difficulties in the beginning. It happens. Went live, had to go back, redo it. So I apologize if you click on the wrong stream and you're wondering what's going on. You get, again, I know that's why a lot of people weren't checking in today. It happens. It happened to me yesterday. Too many things going on. All right. Too many things going on. How about those Colts? Man? Phillip Rivers getting it done, man. Getting it done. Containing Nick Foles, who, yeah, Nick didn't have a terrible game. He just couldn't do anything, right? Listen, Indianapolis defense is really, really good. Very, very underrated out there. We talked about that, multiple times. I alluded to that as well going into this week. And Nick Foles, I just thought was going to be able to come out of the gate and just be so excited that he's playing again that I thought he was going to, get a little more momentum than he did. But that was not a good game. They were playing at home. I thought, that was a little caveat for them as well. Just didn't work. Listen, the Colts are playing well, man. The Colts are playing well. And Phillip Rivers is a general. And Mo Alley Cox, the legend of Mo Alley Cox, is starting to grow, right? I'm sorry. I have to say it's starting to grow, right? Phillip Rivers locks on somebody all the time, right? We know it. He did it for years with Antonio Gates. In the beginning, not just because Antonio Gates was a beast, he just fell in love with them, and he's fallen in love with Mo Alley Cox. Everybody thought that the flying Irishman Jack Doyle was going to be the guy. Guess what? Not move over Jack Doyle, because Mo Alley Cox is a beast. He is going to be inserted more and more and more, and Phillip Rivers loves him. He does. So I'll tell you what, if you're a fantasy player, if you're a DFS player, Mo Alley Cox is a guy that's going to need to be in your lineup, okay? Because he just catches touchdowns, people. That's what he does. So if you need Mo Alley Cox in your lineup, no pun intended. But if you need him in your lineup, get him in your lineup today, because he will produce, man. He definitely will produce. Cincinnati, Again, with a really good win for them, gets their first win. Joe Burrow looking good again, man. The New Orleans Saints, they got to clean some stuff up in New Orleans, especially with the defense. Drew Brees, looking good. Still not the Drew Brees of old. Okay, say what you want, but he's not the Drew Brees of old. But he will get back to that if he gets Michael Thomas back and healthy. I fully believe that. But right now, just look at other options if you're a fantasy guy. But listen, I have to run, do some things later on today. We got the press conference going on. I'm looking at maybe going live during the game tonight, talking a little fantasy, see what the DFS picks are, for the games tonight. Especially want to know if anybody's willing to start Brian Hoyer. I think he's a very intriguing pick this tonight. I don't know what it is, but I see some magic happening tonight with Brian Hoyer in New England. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, thanks for everybody checking in. Really appreciate it. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you later on today.